Hello, I'm Scott Combs. Welcome to Martial Arts Explorer. In this series, we explore functional self-defense techniques as revealed in classical forms of all styles. Classical forms show all aspects of self-defense: strikes, throws, grappling, joint locking. Some think forms reveal the locations of anatomically weak areas of the body useful for protecting oneself. Our experience tends to support this idea. Now this time we're exploring crane stance. This is just one idea on how we can use it. There are many others. Let's see what Michael has in mind.
Thanks, Scott. We're going to try looking at crane stance today, something a little different. There's different versions of crane stance. Anytime the one foot comes up, you tend to call it a crane stance. This particular time, we're going to bring our hands out in front, one hand low, one hand high. We're going to pick up our front leg. Sometimes defensive, sometimes offensive. A little hard to figure out, especially when you're looking at interpretations, all right? It's something we played with for a while. It took us a while to find stuff we sort of like. We have some different ideas. And remember, when you're looking at stuff, nothing's going to be perfect. You have to play with it and you have to make it work. And if you can't, disregard it, and that's fine. Jordan's going to come in and join me. This is a lot easier to demonstrate with somebody here than it is by myself. Once again, we'll start with a common push, reach, grab. He's moving in this direction here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to step in, my hands are going to pass through. I'm going to dive in with a low punch to offset. I'm going to start to move them a little bit. Now we're going to move into our crane position. I have to dip under this arm. It's probably the hardest part because why would I go from standing into here? But opportunity moves, okay? The opportunity exists. I see the opening and take advantage of it in the situation. So as I slide in, I'm going to come under. I keep one hand high. My other hand is going to start, I'm going to actually use my elbow, not just my hand. And my elbow is going to come in and then I'm going to follow through. Now as my knee comes up, there's my throw. I'm pressing in the back of the hip. I want to be really deep. Dig right in the solar plex and the stomach, start bending them. And I'm going to keep this hand lifted in the air and bend them back. I'm going to go pretty slow the first time. I'm going to come through, and that brings us eventually to here if I throw it nice and hard and follow all the way through. Now it seems a little complicated, and that's fine. Play with it and see what you can do. These throws exist in a couple different styles, and the more you practice it, the easier they become. And if it's not worth it, like I said, that's okay. But something fun to try out, and a reason why you would actually end up in this position here. Hand reaching in. You have to give yourself time. I punch him to give myself time. If I were to just grab a hand and dip here, he'd hit me before I move. All right, I have to distract him. I have to offset him. Pain to the ribs, sags the body. Dip in, and pull through, drop and lift. Bring myself across, and it starts to put me right back in that position. Now this can be thrown from the other side, but it's a little more difficult of a move. If he reaches in, and whatever, I distract him, I hit him, he's moving through. I drop, I lift, I'm going to come across the back this way, and I take it into the front of the thigh and through this way and pull myself across. Now I'm not even bother doing it because I don't do it very well and it's not worth my time to try. But it's something you can play with, and if you get it, great. And if not, like I said, don't bother. That's why I'm not going to show it to you because I don't know it well enough to do. All right, thanks, Jordan. We're going to grab the clasp, let everybody give it a try. See what happens. It's an interesting technique. All right, we're going to start looking at crane stance. From our forms, we're going to be looking at row high. Row high is a section where you step out, the hand parries, they cross, parry, and then you lift up in your crane stance. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Tom's reaching in, he's reaching for this grab. Well, as I were to do my step and my hands pass, right, there's my slap parry, my hand extends, becomes a punch instead, and the next move is that crane stance. Remember, you have to slide in. I can't just do it from one spot. So I take advantage of my timing, hit him, move him, he sags a little bit, reacts, I get my spacing, step in deep, drive this, drive my knee forward, and come through. Does lift him up pretty easy. Yeah, play with the leg position a little bit, find out what works. I tend to find if I hit him higher up on the leg with my thigh, the front of my thigh, not so much a knee strike, I have a lot better luck with that. So I'm going to take him up a little bit higher on my leg and higher on the back of his leg as we come through. All right, you guys go ahead and give it a try. All right, good. I have a little suggestion, something for you guys to try, see how this works. Okay? When we're throwing this technique, As I come in here, when I go to bring this knee up, if I throw it from back here, I'm more of doing the hip twist and I'm checking my knee into his leg and trying to knock him backwards. I want to drive through. In order to drive through, I want my other foot in front of him. So I'm actually knee striking through and to my weight. If my weight is already back, it's a lot different throw. I want my weight in front of my target. So as I'm here, I step this foot forward on the other side of him, and now I'm standing to my foot and I'm bringing my weight to bear over my standing leg, as opposed to keeping my weight back here and trying to twist him over and trip him with my knee. I want to take it, strike, and drive through. All right, see how it works for you. See if you guys can make that work. As we begin to wrap up, I just want to note a couple little things. If I'm working with Kelly here, one thing, I would never throw this against Kelly because she's smaller than I am. I can't get under her arm, all right? And at least not very easily. So be aware of that. This has to be someone close to your same size, if not preferably taller. Kelly's going to throw something at me a lot easier than I will ever throw it on her. Second of all, assuming I can get under here and I'm moving right along, as I step through, try not to lean forward too much. If I bring myself down, my weight's this way. If she were to collapse down on me, she'd drive me down with her weight. I want to keep my body up as much as I can this way, so I'm in a strong position. When I throw this, I'm throwing in a normal knee strike position. You don't throw your knee strikes from here. You throw your knee strikes from here and pull up. It's the same thing here. This elbow's just pulling back and I stand up nice and straight and I follow through in that direction. Things to keep in mind is to give it a try. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Michael. If you want to try this technique at home, be careful. You want to make the technique work, but you don't want to injure your friend or break any furniture. You need space and a safe landing zone when throwing your training partner. We love getting your email. Send it to explorer@fullcirclemartialarts.org. For Martial Arts Explorer and Michael Kleinepier, I'm Scott Combs.